We've seen some really cool software, some really great ideas. I'm going to be more general. In fact, I'm probably just going to lob a Molotov cocktail because that's really what I do is let's just get everybody just excited about what this type of opportunity is. So I want to talk about detooling AEC. And retooling is one thing, but I think the bigger issue is we're designers and we just kind of put up with stuff, don't we? You know, the software that we're given, everything else. So I have a pencil up here for a reason. But before I get into it, let me talk a little bit about me and see if I can make this Mac actually work. All right, so about me and we. So let's talk about we real quick. So I'm from THW Design. They're old in real years. Like they've been around, what are we, about 70 years we're gonna be celebrating in a couple of years, give or take. There's a sensitivity to how we design. We do senior living, so there's a lot that we take into account, okay? We like to make things better. We believe in we, which is, again, I think we're talking about what this is right here. This is a we thing, right? And we love our job. Now, let's talk about me for a minute. I'm a little different. I'm old. In BIM years, I'm getting some white in the old beard here. That's knowledge, people. I swear to God. I'm pretty blunt about stuff. I like to make things better too. I also believe in we, which is one reason I wanted to do this event, like a lot. I love that, like I think what I posted on LinkedIn was punk. Paul is punk. He's got a punk idea about like he wants to take down Revit. He wants to do all these. Amen. All right, let's do that. So I believe in the power of we. And I hate my job. Now, there is an asterisk there. Okay, I don't hate my job. There are aspects of what I do that I hate because I shouldn't have to. Okay? I'm director of design technology, which means I answer a lot of questions. Hopefully I get to be strategic, hopefully, or a lot of times I'm just putting out fires. We'll talk about that some more. So what makes a good design tool when we're starting to talk about this, right? So in my opinion, it's these things. It's sensitive. And when I say sensitive, it's sensitive to the users, right? Designers don't think like other people. Right? We don't, okay? They're wired a little differently. That's why they do what they do. If design was easy, everybody would do it. There wouldn't be architects, there wouldn't be engineers, there wouldn't be interior designers, right? So a good tool needs to be sensitive to who's using it and how they're using it. It needs to be simple. The pencil that I put up there, this right here, it's a Sharpie. This is a design tool. I can do anything with this. I can write letters, I can draw circles, I can make lines. I can draw in 3D with this. This one single instrument. And yet, we have all these incredibly complex pieces of software now. So the new stuff needs to be simple. Simple as a pencil. It's accessible. We deal with senior living. I'm getting older, right? I'm still pretty sharp, smarter than the average bear. Maybe, I think. I still get to pick stuff up. I'm wired a little differently. I think that's what makes me good at my job. A little broken up here. But a lot of people, again, when we start talking about designers, there are some really amazing designers in my company, in your companies, I'm sure, that as they get older, the software starts to surpass them. How can you mentor when you can't use the tools anymore? How can you be part of the conversation? When I used to consult, so there was a job that I was on, touring the office, BIM implementation, and I get upstairs and I hear this coming from one of the corners of the office. And I'm like, man, somebody's flying. And I look over there and a little old guy hunched over the computer and mouse is just clicking away. I'm like, who's that? They're like, oh, that's Carl. I'm like, man. They're like, no, he's not what you think it is. And I'm like, what's he doing? They're like, he's doing a concrete hatch. Okay, dude's on AutoCAD, manually putting this, like, okay, we're implementing Revit, right? And I'm like, what are you going to do with Carl? And they're like, don't worry, he's retiring in 6 months. I'm like, thank God. Right? But that's a problem. That's a serious problem. That the people who know the most about how our buildings go together can't partake in the process anymore. That's accessibility. All right? Shouldn't they be fun? Shouldn't they be inspiring in some way, shape, or form? The tools that we use to design? People, is this fun and inspiring? Is this simple? Is this accessible? Is it? No! Is this any better? I mean, seriously. It's a little bit better. It has a couple fewer buttons, right? But, say what? Oh, yeah. Woo! Good job, Autodesk. Do you want to know a secret about Revit? I've told a couple people already. Revit wasn't designed to be an architecture tool. It was originally designed for the auto industry. They saw an opening. They're like, ooh, we can make this button make a wall instead, and we can sell it to architects. We, as an industry, have standardized on a piece of software that wasn't even designed for us. That's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. And yet, here we are. And again, so that's what we are. And that, my friends, is why I hate my job. But I love it. I love helping people. I love helping my team back there. And I love that. But the thing is, as a design technology director, I should be focused on the next. I should be focused on strategery. You know, how do we do what we do better? Instead, I'm spending my time as a Sherpa helping people through the Himalayas of BIM. And why Revit won't do the roof I want it to do. Dear God, Pete, help. And so I have to come in as a sniper. That's not how we should be spending our time. I'm glad I'm wired the way I'm wired. I'm glad I get to help people, but the software that we use isn't wired for us. Let's see if this thing will actually play on your Mac. Shut up. Oh, it doesn't play. How do I go back? There you go. No? No? All right. People, I want you to go look up Feather. Feather.io. Okay? This video is hot. I was like, oh my goodness. It's like I need a minute. I want to watch it. That's a design tool, my friends. Feather, you get to draw in 3D with a pencil. It recognizes all of that kind of stuff. I mean, go look it up. Feather.io, well, no, or Feather AI, I don't remember what they call it. But I have gripes with this even. And the reason being, it used to be web-based. They made it Mac-based. Specifically iPad-based, which means I'll never get to play with it because I don't have an iPad. And that's a problem. Again, that one talks about accessibility too. It's not just that. It's not just the people, it's how you get to the thing. But which one of those tools felt more sensitive, simple, accessible, fun, and inspiring? It would have been Feather if I could have shown you the video, but I didn't, but that's okay. Just believe me, trust me on this, go look at it. So let's talk about the retooling. The new software, the next generation, it needs to be agnostic. Okay, that's my gripe about Feather. I can't get to it because I don't have the right hardware to get to it, right? It needs to be web-based. That could mean web-based. I think modular. Do we want to try to create a piece of software that does everything for everyone, or do we want to have a bunch of groups that focus on a really good piece of software that does things really well that then fit together nicely? I think a lot of like the facility management systems, they're modular in nature. Interoperable, and real honest-to-God interoperability, not the nonsense interoperability that people talk about, that when all the big companies get together and they go, we're going to make it interoperable. They're not making it interoperable. They don't want to play in each other's sandboxes. Real honest-to-God sharing, again, web-based. AI-powered, AR-enabled. I think AR is the absolute future. That's some Tony Stark kind of stuff right there, being able to see your building sitting on your desk and actually touch it and spin it and play with it, like it's right there. That's some amazing stuff. And it's strong partnerships, like what we're supposed to be forging here tonight. I want to keep this going. So no one size fits all. The developers get to be focused on solutions, and the partnering is not just with developers and developers, but designers and developers as well. These types of relationships, and then again, developers get to work together to create those modular solutions. You get a company that's a high value thing for you, you get to focus on what you're good at. What I say, it's like going to Cheesecake Factory. I get to go to Cheesecake Factory, I have 50 pages of mediocrity when I would rather go to some kind of smaller restaurant that does 10 things really, really well than have 50 pages of mediocrity, okay? And the key to this is agility and listening. You know, Paul and company, you guys are one of the greatest examples of that. Not to plug you guys too much, but seriously, it's been a pleasure partnering with y'all. And what does this come out as? Is it new standards? Is it new leadership groups? Is this the kind of thing right here that we're doing? We want to keep doing this month by month. Once a year we have a big meetup, but we keep continuing these conversations and hopefully make something. So by the time the next thing comes around, we might have something really cool to show the larger group. Because remember, designers are not coders. Okay, I went to school for 6 years to even begin to understand design, so I could then graduate, so I could count parking spaces, so I could then start learning codes, so I could then start learning how to put buildings together, also understanding all the stuff that goes into the building, and now you're asking me to program my own software. Are you nuts? Who has time for that? Who has money for that? How much venture capital have you had to raise just to get to where you're at right now?
Can't say.
Yeah, exactly. It's more than $1. Which is what most of us have extra to be able to spend on something like this, right? Most of the time, we're not coders, right? You get a couple of unicorns out there. You can see that down in the corner. But that's who we are. So in the end, we need to make lightweight, sensitive, good tools that are modular in nature that allow us to actually work together in the ways that we want to work together with the tools we need, not one giant tool. And we should keep the idea to be as simple as a pencil. We might never hit that goal, but if we focus on that, get rid of the knobs, the dials, the buttons, and everything else, and just try to make it work the way we think, the way we connect to our own designs, I think that's a good start. And that's where we're at. Man.